Today's story is very touching. It's called The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. This is a real-life story. The author remembers his beloved grandmother, her simple lifestyle, and her peaceful departure. Let's begin. Describing the grandmother. The author says his grandmother was old and wrinkled for as long as he could remember. People said she was once young and pretty, and had a husband. But it was hard to believe. There was a portrait of the grandfather hanging in the drawing room. He had a white beard, a turban, and looked at least 100 years old. He didn't look like someone who would have a wife or children, just lots of grandchildren. When the author thought about his grandmother being young and playful, he found the idea almost revolting. Revolting means shocking or unpleasant to imagine. She often told him stories of her childhood, but he and others treated them like fables, not real. Her appearance and lifestyle. She was always short, fat, and slightly bent. Her face was full of wrinkles, a crisscross pattern that made her look very old. She walked slowly around the house, dressed in spotless white, one hand on her waist and the other telling the beads of her rosary. Rosary means a string of beads used in prayer. Her silver hair was messy, and her face was puckered but peaceful. Her lips always moved in inaudible prayer. To the author, she was beautiful, just like a winter mountain scene, full of peace and calm. He says, she was an expanse of pure white serenity. An expanse of pure white serenity means a large area of peaceful whiteness, like snow on mountains. Life in the village, grandmother as a friend. When the author was young, his parents lived in the city, so he stayed with his grandmother in the village. They were very close. She would wake him, bathe him, dress him while chanting prayers, and give him breakfast. She also packed his school things, a wooden slate, ink pot, and red pen. They would walk together to school, which was attached to a temple. While he studied the alphabet and prayers with the priest, she read the scriptures inside. After school, they would come back together and feed chapatis to the village dogs. Moving to the city, a turning point. Later, when his parents were settled in the city, they sent for them. This was a turning point in their friendship. A turning point, a moment when things changed permanently. In the city, the author went to an English school by motor bus. Grandmother no longer went with him and started feeding sparrows in the courtyard instead. As time passed, they spent less time together. Though she still woke him up, they no longer shared the same bond. The growing gap, new school life. When he came back from school, he would tell her about science, English, and other modern subjects. She didn't like this. She felt distressed because there was no teaching about God and scriptures. One day, when he told her they were learning music, she was very disturbed. She believed music was connected to beggars and not respectable people. She didn't say anything, but her silence showed disapproval. College days, distance grows. When he went to university, he got his own room. That ended the last part of their friendship. She accepted her seclusion with resignation and never complained. Seclusion, a state of being alone. Resignation, calm acceptance of something unpleasant. She spent her time with her spinning wheel, chanting prayers. Only in the afternoon, she would feed sparrows. They would come in hundreds, sit on her head, shoulders, and legs. It became her favorite half hour of the day. The birds created a veritable bedlam of chirrupings. A veritable bedlam of chirrupings, a noisy scene caused by the loud chirping of birds. Going abroad, a quiet goodbye. When the author decided to go abroad for 5 years, he thought she would be sad. But she wasn't even emotional. She kissed him on the forehead and prayed, no tears, no goodbye words. He thought this would be their last physical contact. Return, nothing had changed. After 5 years, he returned, and his grandmother was still the same. She hugged him, but her main joy was still feeding the sparrows. She scolded them gently while feeding them. These were her frivolous rebukes. Frivolous rebukes, light, playful scoldings. The evening before she died. That evening, something changed. She didn't pray. Instead, she called the neighborhood women, got an old drum, and began to sing. She sang war songs and thumped the sagging skins of the dilapidated drum. Sagging skins of the dilapidated drum, the loose, old surface of a broken drum. Dilapidated, worn out, or broken down. She sang for hours. They had to stop her, she might overstrain herself. The peaceful death. Next morning, she had a mild fever. The doctor said she would be fine. But she said her time had come. She had missed praying the evening before, and she wouldn't waste more time talking. She lay on her bed, praying quietly. Then, her lips stopped moving, the rosary slipped from her fingers, and her face turned calm. A peaceful pallor spread across her face. Pallor means a pale, peaceful look, often seen on someone who has passed away. They knew she was gone. The sparrow's silent goodbye. They placed her body on the ground, covered with a red cloth. Then they left to prepare for her funeral. When they returned, they saw a strange sight. Thousands of sparrows had gathered in her room and the veranda. They didn't chirp, didn't move, didn't touch the crumbs of bread offered to them. They just sat in silence, mourning. When her body was taken away, the sparrows flew off silently. Next morning, the maid swept away the untouched bread. Central theme. This story is a real and heartfelt tribute to the author's grandmother. It shows the changes in human relationships over time, the beauty of a simple, spiritual life, and how love doesn't need loud expression. Sometimes it's silent, powerful, and forever. The grandmother may have left physically, but she lived on in the peace she gave, the love she showed, and the memories she left behind. The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh, presenting EduTunes.